For more now on the investigation, let's bring in Alexander Ritzmann in Berlin. Now, previously, you were a member of the Berlin State Parliament focusing on homeland security. Let's start with that question we just heard in that piece. How do you think this suspect was able to get from Germany to France, especially considering France is in a state of emergency?
Well, it appears that he simply bought a bus ticket. That's the preliminary result of the investigation that I'm aware of. If you buy a bus ticket for international travel, you have to show an ID, but of course the bus driver is not skilled and trained to really check if an ID is valid, or maybe there was even another way to circumvent that kind of check. So it is quite easy to travel within Europe, and we've seen this before, the Paris attackers. The ISIS attack in Paris, November last year. People were traveling Europe after the attack, fleeing from France, and there were also people in France moving around freely. So we have a problem, obviously.
What about there in Germany, where there are not quite so high surveillance laws like there are in other countries, like here in France? Angela Merkel has promised to introduce new laws if needed. Do you think those new laws are needed?
Not really, actually. We don't need more police and more intelligence and more cameras. We need better police, better intelligence, and better technology, better cooperation between the different security agencies. Because once again, the suspect, the terrorist, was known to several security agencies. There was not a lack of data. There was not a lack of information. There was a lack of sharing information to a degree, or then action following the information, or then there was a wrong risk assessment. Anis Amri has been surveilled for 6 months in Germany with the full force of the state. And they came to the conclusion that he's not posing a risk. So instead of now spending hundreds of millions of euros montaging cameras all over Germany, which will bring some good pictures after the attack, we need to invest in better training, better equipment, and better cooperation of security services.
Well, what kind of investment are we talking about, and why aren't countries doing that?
Well, we're still in a nation-state Europe, especially in the field of security. I'm the director of the European Foundation for Democracy in Brussels. I live in Berlin sometimes. So it's obvious that Europe is still growing together. It's a process, and the security agencies, the nation-states, that's maybe the last area people want to cooperate. So every terrorist attack increases the urge to cooperate. And the European level in Brussels is trying to coordinate, is trying to support, but it's the member states who have to give up the old thinking that it's not smart to share information, that cooperation only should take place when needed. We have to change that mindset, and it is happening slowly. There has to be, we have to move from the need to know to it's good to sharing information within data protection laws, within laws protecting privacy, because we've seen, again, first we arrested the wrong guy, and this happened all over in other places as well. So police and intelligence needs to be smarter and better trained, better equipped, and this will really improve the situation.
All right, Alexander, thank you for taking the time to speak to us there. That's Alexander Ritzmann there in Berlin.